Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian, and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here on the west coast of Canada. I hope everybody is having a fantastic weekend. I hope you're all staying strong and healthy and optimistic. I know many of you are doing IELTS exams this weekend, so good luck to all of you who are sitting or have just sat your IELTS exam. In this live class, everyone, we are looking at IELTS questions and answers to help you get that band 9, that perfect score. This is a members chat class. Of course, everybody is welcome to watch. To become a member of our channel, simply click the join button next to the subscribe button. If you don't see that button, just send me an email to adrian@aehelp.com and I will help you further. While we wait for a few more of our students and members, this lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS success. Check us out there. And if you're studying for the general IELTS, then definitely visit us at gieltshelp.com. That's generalieltshelp.com. On both of those websites, we have lots and lots of information to help you improve your English and your communication for the IELTS exam. And I'm sure that a lot of your questions about these exams can be answered there as well. Welcome, Akil, to the class. I'll quickly show you these websites, students, just so you can see what I'm talking about. So this is our academic IELTS website here at aehelp.com, and you can click this big red button to join our premium package for IELTS. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access. It really doesn't cost a lot, and you get a lot of great materials. When you join, you get a My Student account, and then in that My Student account, you will find original practice exams that are computer-based. You can check them out on your phone. You will find a full online course, workbook, study plans that you can print. You'll find over 100 HD video lessons that you can watch, as well as IELTS audio CDs to play and to listen to when you're studying at home or on the road, and lots of additional services, including Task 1, Task 2 writing services, student partner speaking. That's absolutely free to find a speaking partner. And you can also book a speaking interview practice with me to practice for your IELTS speaking interview. Akil, I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. All right, everyone. General IELTS, it's kind of the same idea, except it focuses on general IELTS. It's the green background at gieltshelp.com. Again, click that big red button to join the premium package there. We are an official British Council IELTS test registration center. We have connections to British Council, so if we have or if you have a question that we don't know the answer to, we can even ask British Council for support. All right, students. So again, this is a members chat class, and this is a chance for our members to ask us questions. Any question that they have regarding the IELTS or regarding the English language as well. For those of you who are watching on our general English help channel like Akil, you can also ask some questions about the IELTS exam, okay? So while we wait for some questions, well, let me just check and make sure that we have the chat enabled here, because I'm not seeing our members' comments, which is very strange. Let me just check the settings there for us. Okay. let me take a look here. That's a little bit strange from Google's part. Okay. I don't know if maybe there's a possibility that there's no members, and I just don't see that though. So just give me a moment. I'm going to see if we can fix this somehow. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, looks like you should be able to chat. I don't know why I'm not seeing our members' chats yet. All right. Hi, Thomas. Hi, Satish. If you have some questions about IELTS, just let me know. Okay. All right. Or about the English language. So if you have questions about grammar or vocabulary or what kind of language you need to know, okay, then let me know. Satish says there's some issues in the settings, but there isn't. I just checked it, Satish, so I don't think so. Okay, there we go. There's Mal. Hi, Mal. Welcome to the class. So this is a question and answer session. We have these sessions once every couple of weeks to give a chance to our members and our General English Help channel viewers to ask us questions. And while you're thinking about your questions, just some information for everyone. We will have a speaking part 3 class coming up after this class where we practice speaking part 3. And then Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, there's no class, okay? And on the 10th to the 13th, so Wednesday to Saturday, we have our usual live classes that will be focusing on speaking, writing, reading, and grammar next week, okay? So make sure to tune in for that. Okay, so Mal is in the class. Good to see you, Mal. If you have an IELTS-related question, now's your chance to ask, okay? Satish, I'm guessing that's a question. So Satish says, describe an item of clothing that was bought for you. You should say what it was, who bought it, what it looked like, why it was bought for you. Explain how you felt about this item of clothing. No, Mel, this is academic and it's general as well. So this is just a Q&A session. It's questions and answers. And it's all about helping you understand the IELTS exam for a Band 9, okay? So Satish says that today this was my exam topic. Okay, that's a great one to look at, all right? Okay, so let's talk about it. So Satish is asking a question about today's speaking part 2. So this was your exam topic today. That's interesting. Okay, so Satish says, talk about a piece of clothing that was bought for you. Okay, so I'm not going to get into all of the other little questions there, Satish, but I think the topic is good, okay? So here, Satish, what you should have done in the 1-minute preparation time. Okay, so here you get to find out how well you did, Satish, with this, okay? So 1-minute prep time. You need to identify that this is an object. Okay, when you're talking about an object, you need to talk about its appearance, its origin, its function, and its utility for you. Okay, so, or value. All right, so that's what you need to think about. All right. So hopefully you did that. Okay, in your 1 minute, you thought about that. And then you need to figure out the tense. Okay, so the tenses. This is obviously past, past perfect, and present perfect. Let me explain that. Okay, so Satish, the question was for this part two. Talk about a piece of clothing that was bought for you. So was bought clearly tells you that this cue card was looking for some past tense grammar. So using past tense and using past perfect. Okay, so my father had bought me this jacket because the winter was cold. Okay, so the jacket was bought first, the winter was cold is second in the timeline. Okay, so hopefully you did that. And then hopefully you thought about 2 to 3 ideas for this. Okay, all right. So what would be a couple of good ideas for clothing that was bought for you? Okay. Satish, just out of curiosity, what did you answer? So what was the topic that was bought for you? Hi, Andre. So Andre and Mal, right now we're answering a question that Satish is asking on our General English channel. Satish is saying that they did the exam today and their part 2 cue card for the speaking interview was talk about a piece of clothing that was bought for you, okay? And then, of course, they had to describe what it was, who bought it, what it looked like, and how they felt about it, okay? And I'm just going through the ideas of how a person should talk about this to get that band 9 score, okay? All right. Thomas, you can absolutely write more than 150 words in part 1. I'll answer that question in a second. So talk about 2 to 3 ideas for this. So I would go with maybe a jacket. Okay, could be a good idea. And you want to be specific. Okay, so it could be a winter jacket if that applies in your region. If it doesn't, then because you don't have cold winters, then obviously you need to think of something else. So maybe you might think of a suit. Now, a suit is not just one piece of clothing, so that might be a little bit difficult. Okay, so you might think of something like a blazer. Okay, all right. And again, this is dialogue, students, so give me some ideas. What would you think of for a piece of clothing that you could talk about? Okay, maybe a dress shirt. Okay, or maybe if you're a man, well, it could be for women too. They have them for women these days as well. A black silk tie. Okay, I think that would be a really good one. All right. So if I were thinking about this in the 1 minute and I came up with these ideas, I would probably either go with a blue dress shirt or a black silk tie. Okay, ties are often gifted, especially to men. They serve an aesthetic purpose to look professional, right? And I can easily talk about it. So Satish, these were the kind of the key ideas. And then here I would get my first sentence ready. So a piece of clothing that my father had bought me just 2 months ago is a black silk tie. Okay, this is a modern slender tie, about 1.5 meters in length total. The brand is Calvin Klein. And it looks very elegant. All right. So I would go like this. All right. I would start like this, Satish. And obviously, I could talk lots about this. So, my father got me this tie because I graduated last year and I'm looking for part time work. I'd like to work as an office worker in a professional position. And my father knew that this tie would be an extremely important article of clothing for my job interview and for my daily work life. And then I would really get into it, okay? Again, talking about its appearance, so what this tie looks like, who got it, what's its function, okay, so looking professional, and then, of course, its value. So indeed, I was able to land a great job working as a marketing analyst for a software company. And I think the tie really gave me confidence during the interview. Now I wear the tie every couple of days to work, along with some other ties that I have bought since. People still comment on how good this tie looks with my dress shirts, and it continues to give me courage when I go into business meetings and when I'm talking to other colleagues. Okay, so obviously lots and lots of language there. Okay, so Rajveer, you're joining in, which is good. Your speaking test is on Monday. Andre, shoes could be good. Shoes are a piece of clothing, but it's not like the first idea that we think of when we think of clothing. So when we think of clothing, we don't think of shoes, but I think it could pass, okay? Just make sure, Andre, that you would pick a specific pair of shoes to talk about. Rajveer, again, this is a question and answer session. So if you have questions about your speaking test on Monday, now's a good time to ask. Okay. Satish, let's see what you talked about because I'm still curious. Okay. Okay, so Satish, did you actually talk about the coat? So Satish says, I would like to describe a coat my parents gave me as a present on my 25th birthday. So it was really smart and to my liking. The coat is made of cotton only and by an Indian clothes manufacturer. Okay, all right, Satish. I think that's a good idea. So I think you could have done well with that coat. Hopefully you were specific. Okay, all right. It looks like, you did a good job. I like how you described the pockets. That's great. Okay. All right. So, Thomas is asking a question. Okay. So Thomas is asking, can I write more than 150 words for task 1 writing? And I think, Thomas, for this one, we might as well ask the second question, or more than 250 for task 2 writing. We actually have a video with an IELTS examiner coming out this week, today, later on, or tomorrow, which will, I think, talk about this question. The answer here, Thomas, is absolutely, okay? So, absolutely you can, all right? And in fact, you should, all right? In fact, to get high band scores, you should write about 25% more than the minimum. Okay, so if you look at the task 1 and task 2 writing questions, Thomas, you're going to see that it says write at least 150 words. Okay, the instructions say write at least 150 for task 1 and then 250 for task 2. Right? At least means minimum, not maximum, okay? If you can't go over 150, then they would say maximum 150 words. Okay. Now, we talked to British Council and we talked to IELTS examiners who mark these essays, and we talked to them often, and all of them said, yes, you have to write more than 150 words. 150 is the minimum to have task completion. And if you don't have at least 150 words, you lose band scores because it's considered an incomplete task. It means that you are not quick enough in English writing. Okay, so if you write less than the minimum word requirement, it means that you are not fluent enough in English writing, so you lose band scores for task completion. Okay. And then keep in mind, Thomas, and this is what the professionals, the IELTS examiners say that are marking these task 1, task 2 writing assignments. They say that band 7 to 9 task 1 are closer to 200 words, and task 2 are closer to 350 words. Okay, so we've talked to several different IELTS examiners that have been marking thousands of these essays, and they say that, yeah, when we give a band 7 or a band 8, band 9 especially, then these essays are closer to 200 words for task 1 and closer to 350 words for task 2, because that's about how much or how many words you need to explain all of the information for the question. Okay. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. Okay. Keep thinking about questions. So members, this is primarily your chance to ask questions. So Andriy, Mal, Rajveer, Uskov, please keep asking me questions, okay? So let me know if you have a question about IELTS. And of course, I will answer the questions in the order that I see them, okay? There might be something with the stream on YouTube's end with the Academic English Hub channel. I'm not sure because I'm not seeing a lot of chatter. Members, are you able to chat right now? Can some of you just send me like yes I am or no I can't? And then if I don't see anything, I know that the chat for some reason in the academic version is having issues, probably because of YouTube server side, if that's the case. Okay, Andrew says thumbs up, so that's a good sign. All right, Andrew, good. Okay, so again, if somebody has a question there, let me know. All right. Yashnar Gafuro says, how can I increase my listening skills? So that's a good question. It's a general question, Yashnar. Okay, so Yashnar is asking, how can I increase my listening skills? Okay. The answer to that, okay, there are lots of ways to improve your listening. The most important is to do active listening, okay? So, Yashnar, the answer is practice active listening. This means that you listen to audio, such as an IELTS listening section, and then you explain what you heard. Okay. Now, a really good way to do this, so Yeshna is probably going, yeah, I know that, Adrian. You're just telling me something I already know. But I'm going to give you a little bit more detail and a little bit more of an actionable kind of exercise, okay? So an exercise that you can do, you need to do it in partners, okay? So find a partner, one or two. If you've got two partners, even better. Okay. Listen to an IELTS listening section part, and then ask questions from each other about what you heard and discuss any discrepancies. Okay, so that means, go to an IELTS listening section on our websites, for example, and this is why it's great to have some online resources like at aehelp.com. We did listening this week, so if you want a good example, look at the listening practice from the live classes this week on our YouTube channel. Listen to one of those parts about, for example, dinosaurs, the T-Rex, Tyrannosaurus Rex. We did that listening exercise yesterday. And try to listen with somebody. So listen with your partner, or listen with your children if you have children who speak English, or with another IELTS student if you're in a classroom. And don't worry about the questions. So don't worry about answering the questions. Just discuss what you heard. So how big was the T-Rex based on fossil evidence? And then the other person can say, well, according to this speaker, the T-Rex was 12 meters long and 6 meters tall. So it was, and it weighed about 7 tons. I believe that's what the audio said. So do this kind of active listening. Take notes while you listen, okay? So that's another one. Practice note-taking. Even though you do not really do this for IELTS, you do it for TOEFL. It is a great way to enhance your active listening skills for the official test. Okay, so note-taking and questions and answers in partners. Okay. Okay, Andre's asking, how do I improve my reading until the summer, I think is what you're asking there. Summer spelled S-U-M-M-E-R, from 4.5 to 6 or 7. Okay, Andre, that's a pretty big improvement, okay? So Andre is asking, how do I improve my reading from 4.5 to 6? Let's say 6, okay? 7 is not the same as 6, Andre, okay? So saying 6 or 7 doesn't really work, because 7 is quite a bit more than a 6, okay? There are quite big differences between 6 and 7. So how do I improve my reading from 4.5 to 6? The simple answer here, Andre, is you have to read every day. Okay? All right, so Andre, question back at you. Are you reading an English novel every day right now? Okay, so do you have a book, an English book that you read at least 30 minutes to 1 hour each day? Because it has to be every single day, all right? So practice makes perfect, guys. And I mean, that is the most basic answer for both the previous question about listening and that question about reading. So you have to do the work, okay? You have to practice. So active reading is very important. And make sure to visualize while you read. So there are two more detailed tips I'm going to give you here. So make sure to visualize what you read. Make sure to read novels that you are interested in. That's very important. Okay. So it's very difficult to improve your reading if you're just reading IELTS or if you're just reading texts that are not interesting for you. Okay. So make sure that you're reading novels that you're interested in. Make sure that you're visualizing what you read, and spend at least, and this will actually help you with your listening as well. And your speaking. Okay, so spend at least 10 minutes reading aloud so you can hear yourself. Okay? So spend 10 minutes, at least 10 minutes, reading aloud. Okay, that means so you're reading so that you can hear yourself, or you're actually making a sound. Okay? Andre says no, unfortunately. Yeah, so Andre, that's definitely the first step. I mean, realistically, you can't go from a 4.5 to a 6 if you're not reading English every single day. And I'm talking about a novel, so just reading really short Instagram messages or Facebook posts or a really short news article. It's not enough, okay? That's not going to work. You have to read more combined information where your brain is challenged to keep adding information to information each day. So that's why you want to read a novel, because then you have the continuation of a story, you have the build of characters, you have the build of the plot, okay? So you need to read in a way where there's continuation. It's not just separate pieces of information each day, okay? That's why it's so very important. Yashna, you're very, very welcome, okay? All right. Mal says, are there videos, podcast programs that you recommend to improve active listening for academic IELTS particularly? Mal, the listening for the general IELTS and for the academic IELTS, it's the same, okay? So you don't have to, just give me a second. I'm not sure why that came up. That shouldn't be coming up. Give me 1 second here. Okay, I'll fix this real quick. Yeah, so meanwhile, I'll finish my sentence here. So it doesn't matter the listening. You should listen to materials that are the same as the real IELTS exam. Okay, so you got to listen to materials that are the same as the real IELTS exam. So either use the Cambridge past exams, listening to some BBC podcasts or BBC radio will be helpful, because that's the British accent. Okay, so that will work. All right. Why is that happening? That's really, really strange. Just give me 1 second. Okay. Oh, TFS, you're so close. I'm so sorry to hear that you're having trouble getting that half a band. Don't give up. That's my first advice. Okay. Let me try to do something a little bit different here with our power supply. It's strange that it would just randomly die on us like that. Okay. So I just plugged into a different power supply. Sorry about that, girls and guys. Okay. Yeah, Mal, it's strange. The batteries don't need to get changed because we're using a very powerful battery pack like this one, and this battery pack is full. So, but I just switched to another wall plug battery pack. The camera is actually supplied by a lot of power. So sometimes there's strange things in the world of technology. Okay. All right. Rajveer, yeah, reading grammar books helps for sure. Getting feedback on your grammar is very important. So here's another really good question. This question is coming from Rajveer. Okay. Does reading grammar books help? A little bit. The most important is to practice your grammar and get feedback from a teacher about the accuracy of your grammar. Okay, so yeah, Rajveer, the grammar books are certainly helpful somewhat, okay? But just reading about grammar is not going to be effective without practicing it. So anytime that you read about a certain type of grammar, you want to practice it, okay? So you want to practice using it. And then when you've finished, let's say 5 or 10 sentences using that new grammar, then you want to be able to give it to a teacher and ask for feedback. Now, if you don't have a teacher, that's something that you can do on our websites, everyone. So if you go to IELTS Help, this website here, and you log in, or Academic Help and you log in, and here we have our editing services, which is for task 1, task 2 writing. But here you also have what's called these additional services on the website. Okay. And you have these general editing services right here. Okay. So let's say that I'm practicing some grammar and I'm having some difficulty. Like, let's say I'm practicing something really fancy. Like, let's say that I'm practicing present perfect in passive voice. Okay. So let's say that's the grammar that I'm practicing, and I create a sentence, or I write a sentence like, I have been driven to school by my mom for the past 2 months because I had sprained my ankle playing basketball. Okay. So let's say that you're practicing this present perfect in the passive voice, Rajveer, because you were reading about it in your grammar book, and you're like, okay, I think I can do this. So I create this sentence here. I have been driven to school by my mom for the past 2 months because I had sprained my ankle playing basketball. And now you're like, okay, it looks good to me, but I'm not sure that it's correct or it's not correct. So you go, okay, well, I need some help. I can't find anybody in my area to help me. So I go to the editing services and I say, okay, I want to get this edited. Here it tells you basically the price of the different kinds of editing. So there's different options here, and it tells you the different options. So you can wait for more than 3 days. It's college or university, it's 6 cents, or it's advanced English, it's 5 cents per word. So anyway, you can check out the prices there. They're kind of industry standards. And then you upload the file. So here you choose the file. You can do a word count if you know what it is. If not, that's fine. And then you basically submit the document and you'll get your answer. Or even another way that you can get editing on the website or help with grammar checking is if you go to task 1 writing, okay? So sorry, I should show you that one more time. So there I just clicked on the task 1 writing button in the website. And I'm showing you this because I know many of you have access to this. So if you go to the task 1, and then you click on that task 1 writing, and you simply just copy paste it. Okay, so I'm going to take this sentence, I'm going to control copy, jump back here, control paste it in there. So there's my sentence. Okay, I have been driven to school by my mom for the past 2 months because I had sprained my ankle. And then I simply go submit. Okay, and then when I go submit, it's going to tell me that to get an answer to this question of how good my grammar is here, it's going to cost me $1.32. And then one of our experts will take a look at it, give you back some detailed feedback like, yes, this sentence is grammatically correct, but the information doesn't make sense, or you have to make these improvements, or you're not using the auxiliary verb have correctly here. So that's where you can get help, okay? And I'm always trying to, in these question and answer classes, students, I'm always trying to give you some actionable answers. So answers that you can actually work with. My goal here is to give you real help, okay? So I'm not just showing you the website because I want to advertise our products, but because I want to be able to give you real help with your grammar, okay? Yeah, Rajveer, feedback is absolutely a must when you're studying grammar. If you are not getting your work checked when you study grammar, it's really hard to know where you're making mistakes, all right? All right. Amirul, how do I improve my spoken English shortly? Amirul, we talked about that earlier in this Q&A session. Somebody else had asked the same question. The main tip there is just practice. So Amirul, if I again refer you to my website here or to the website of the company, in your My Student account, you can find for free, it's 100% free, you can find some other students to speak with. So if you click on that student partner speaking button and you accept the terms that you're going to speak nicely and communicate nicely to people, you'll be redirected to this page. And right now, for example, you just saw Usman jump in here. And if you click on the little video camera or this, then you can, right now, you could speak to Usman and practice your speaking. Okay? So there's always students jumping in and out of this student partner speaking, and then you can just message them. Like you can say, hey, Usman, do you have 10 minutes to practice? And then Usman might say yes. And then you practice, okay? So Amirul, use that student partner speaking. Keep the page open, and somebody will ping you within 5-10 minutes. Somebody will say, hey, do you want to practice? Okay? It's absolutely free. Rajveer, it's just like Discord. It's free. It's free on the website as well, okay? All right. So... Ois is asking, hi Adrian, is it allowed to use a digital clock during the IELTS exam, especially for the reading part? Because the last time I felt no control between reading time and the answer. Ois, you're not allowed to bring a clock or a watch into the exam. So they will ask you to take off your watch if you have one. The problem is that students have used like an Apple Watch or a smartwatch in the past, and they were sneaky and they were using it for answers. So they do not allow you to bring in a watch or clock that's digital. I believe, yes, I remember that they do allow an analog watch, but you have to show it to them. So you have to show that it's indeed truly an analog watch, but you can't bring in like a digital watch or a smartwatch into the IELTS exam. Okay? All right. Okay, so students, thank you for your questions. Some really good questions there. And I hope that you got some useful answers to help you improve for your studies and for your IELTS exam. So again, to get a lot more help and to use our resources for academic students, go to aehelp.com. And for general IELTS students, go to gieltshelp.com. Okay, we've got loads and loads of help there for you. So check out those websites. If you want the premium course, it doesn't cost a lot of money. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access, okay? And again, all you have to do is you just have to click one of these big red buttons to join the premium package there. I'm going to stop there for now, but we have another class coming up. So in 30 minutes, students, we have a speaking part 3 class coming up, and this is a good chance for you to practice your speaking with repetition and answers. So for those of you who are wanting to improve your speaking, come back in 30 minutes and I will host a speaking class, speaking part 3 questions. We're going to do questions and answers. You'll have chances to repeat and practice. I'm Adrian and I'm signing out from beautiful Victoria here on the west coast of Canada for now. But again, I'll be back shortly. Until then, check out our websites, get yourself a glass of water, stretch your legs, and I'll see you soon. Bye.